It's not just game day, it's personal. What's going on, guys? And welcome into another episode of the Bay LA podcast, your home for everything Lakers, Warriors, and news from around the association. Just a solo show for today. My name is Austin Sexton, your Lakers guy. And I wanted to take a couple minutes before the game started tonight. It's 4 o'clock on the West Coast right now. To sit here and talk a little bit about the game tonight, Lakers versus Nuggets. So, before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, do all those things where you get your podcast, your vlogs, all that kind of stuff. The Bay LA podcast is just a bunch of the guys who like to talk hoops, and we love to share it with you. So make sure to like and subscribe. Diving right into it. The last 2 years, Lakers fans, we've been going through it, particularly with this Denver Nuggets team. Part of me wants to think that it was, and the easy way to get out of feeling any sort of way about this is saying it was the Darvin Ham era. We want to think guy with the hands in his pockets did not lead our guys to the preparation that was necessary in order to get those wins. We heard Anthony Davis talk about it last year, about halfway through the season or halfway through the series, first round, when we went up against the Denver Nuggets, saying that a lot of times he feels like our team isn't prepared and we don't know the spots that we need to be out on the floor to get the wins. Hearing that, when the very first time we heard that, we knew that Darvin Ham was gone. We knew it immediately. We knew he's a dead man walking. And this year, we've got JJ Redick. This year, our guys have bought in, it seems like so far, to the JJ Redick scheme, offensive and defensive philosophies, although we do have work to do on the defensive end. Our offense is looking great. We got Dalton Connect. Yes, we are a little injury-ridden right now. Currently at 4 o'clock, Rui Hachimura is not on the injury list, so he will be playing tonight. I would assume that he probably starts over Dalton Connect just for a little bit more defense. And Dalton, along with D'Angelo Russell, will be the 6th and 7th man off of the bench. But our guys have bought in. You can tell that there's a difference with this team. You can tell that there is a genuine wanting to play for one another. You can tell that they genuinely love the schemes that JJ Redick's coming out with, whether it be ATO, defensive premise, anything along those lines. They're bought in. They want to win. And tonight, I think there's a sense of pride that needs to go into this game. For the last 2 years, we have been swept out. We got one game out of the last 8 tries. One game. I guess technically it would be 9 with that one win. But nonetheless, for Lakers fans, the Denver Nuggets matchup never particularly was this isn't a historical rivalry. If we're talking about like the great Laker rivalries throughout time, if we want to go back to the 80s, 90s, 2000s, this was never the marquee matchup. And I, as a fan who's been watching for a while now, I feel like it's Denver who has really kind of put this emphasis on we need to beat the Lakers. The whole Mike Malone, who's your daddy? Very, I don't know. I've got choice words for that, but I will refrain for this show. But I think because we don't look at it, or maybe the players don't look at it as that big of a deal, the fans who live and die with every game definitely do. And I know for the last 2 years, it's been heartbreaking, especially because of the execution, particularly down the stretch. We've watched last year, the Lakers had 85% of the total possessions and the total time with ball, 85% in which we lead those games. And it always comes down to the last 5 minutes. We've seen the same show. We've watched the same movie hoping for a different ending. And that movie is the Lakers winning the game until the fourth quarter with about 5 minutes left and Denver just out executing. I'll never forget where I was when I watched Jamal Murray hit the buzzer beater over Anthony Davis in Denver, game 2. And the infamous Jamal Murray hit a big shot, press conference, and walk off. And that still stings with me. And I think that this Lakers team feels a sense of they need to get redemption. For the fans, for the city of Los Angeles, for the people that pay money to go to these games, for the fans who sit in the 300 seats who get their tickets on Affirm, this pay a little bit every week to be able to go see those games. I think that there is a sense of responsibility and a just due that needs to come to the fans, and I have a feeling it coming tonight. No Aaron Gordon from what I'm seeing with their injury report, but who knows? As of 4/11, he is listed to be out, but I wouldn't doubt it if he came back in the game. Everybody loves to play up against to play the Lakers. It's just one of those games that if you're an opposing team, you circle on the schedule and say, I'm going to make sure that I'm ready for this game. But me personally, and this is just my take, Lakers fans, anybody who pays attention to BLA podcast, for the last 2 years, it's been heartbreak. It's been heartbreak. And if we're anything of the team that we were last year, right? Let's take a step back and let's think about the team we had last year versus the team that we have this year. One could argue, depending on how you look at it, that losing Taurean Prince didn't hurt us all that much, especially with the fact that Dalton Knecht, at least over the last 5 games, is averaging double digits and can hold his own in an NBA game for at least 18 to 20 minutes a night, right? So let's say that's a null and void. Jackson Hayes is currently hurt, but I think if you take the team that they had last year versus the team that we have, well, I guess if you take both of the teams right now and we're both healthy, I think this game literally comes down to the coaching. This is me. I think that if it comes down to the last 5 minutes and we're playing for each other and we're playing what JJ Redick has prepared us to play for, I think that we can get these games. Right now, the Lakers are currently a 4-point favorite, and I think that's because Denver's coming off of a back-to-back and traveling into town tonight. But even so, I think this comes down to the last 5 minutes of coaching. Mike Malone, although I'm not a big fan of him, particularly with the Who's Your Daddy sentiment and the way that he conducted himself after the championship round or their championship run, I think that he is a good coach and his players play for him. But I think that JJ Redick too has something to coach for this game. And I think that the guys want to get this not only for JJ, but for themselves. And I think we can get it done. I think if we play for each other and we play our schemes, I think that we can get this done. Lakers right now sitting at 4th in offensive efficiency throughout the NBA. It's a great statistic to see. We're also sitting 27th in defensive efficiency, which is not great to see. Our point differential between games is because of how close we've been beating teams by, which, unfortunately, this is a Lakers team right now that loves to play down to their competition and up to it as well. Our point of victory margin is about 1.5 points, 2 points. So where the Lakers are favored by 4 this game, I think it's going to be a lot closer. I think it's going to be a nail biter. I think that there's going to be swings of the Lakers being up by 10 and the Nuggets being up by 10. Where last year and the year before, if the Nuggets did have a lead, it was always very, very, very hard to come back from that. This year, I think we can do that. I think that Dalton Knecht is enough of a gravitational force that defenders have to stay out with him. If you have a lineup with, let's say, D'Lo and Dalton Knecht on the outside, LeBron, AD, and let's go ahead and say, Rui Hachimura, right? I think that opens up the floor enough for AD and Bron to have their 2-man game and for LeBron to just go right to the basket. And I think he's going to have a game. I had a dream last night. I woke up and I had this dream where, if you watch the Spectrum Sportsnet version of the games of the Lakers feed, you always see, Bob and James and the gang talk about take your pick or take your shot. And everybody chooses a player that's going to go off. I had a dream last night that Austin Reeves had a 31-point game. And the over-under on his points was, I think it was like at 22. And I was just telling everybody to take the over. I'm feeling good about Austin Reeves' game tonight. I'm feeling really good about all of our starters, to tell you the truth. But if there's one person I think is going to step up for this game and help lead us to a victory that we so desperately need, I'm going to say it's Austin Reeves. Underneath of that, I also think that Rui Hachimura has a chance. First night back from injury, I know he's going to want to go crazy. A lot of times, especially having him in our starting lineup. Well, right now with Cam Reddish in there for defensive purposes, Cam would actually be our 5th option. But a lot of times with our old lineup, when Cam wasn't in there and it was D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura, a lot of times Rui was the 5th option. And I think he's gonna have a good step up game tonight. So I'm excited for that. But I wanted to keep this one short and sweet. I just wanted to get something posted as well. But to the Lakers fans who do watch this, and for everybody who would say that they are part of the nation of Lakers fans, tonight isn't just a regular game. And we can't act like it is. We can't. We just can't. For the last 2.5 years, you can't say that this is a regular game. It's personal. And I hope that the players, 1 through 10, because who knows if it's going to be a 9 or 10 man rotation tonight because of injuries. But every single person who was on that Lakers bench, I hope you take a sense of responsibility, a sense of pride, and purpose with this game, because Los Angeles is watching this one. I wish I could go to the game tonight because I would be rowdy. If I had a chance, I would pour a nice cold Miller Lite over Mike Malone's head and throw the can at his head. It's a personal game, and you got to treat it as such, especially with both of us coming off of a loss. We don't like to lose 2 in a row, and the Orlando Magic game was a heartbreaker at the end. So for me, you got to hit your free throws, you got to execute down the stretch, and you got to play with purpose, because tonight, it's not just a game, it's personal. I'm Austin Sexton with the Bay LA Podcast. You're home for everything Lakers, Warriors, and news from around the association. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment here on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll see you tonight on the hardwood, guys. Take care.